All right, let me say hello and welcome to each and every one of you. Doug here with thelincolnlist.com. Let me welcome you to another daily edition of Stock Market Mutterings, as I always say, where I'll take a grope in the murkiness, try to make some sense out of the stock market, share my stock trading ideas and setups with you, and I hope it helps you guys make some money. The last few days of these, we've been smoking. Not this kind of smoking. No, this kind of smoking. So if you guys need help with your trading, ever since I moved into the new office here a month ago, it's all live streaming daily, talking stocks, talking shop, talking whatever we want to talk about. We're all taking this time in our quarantine to grow, to learn more, to do more, to be better. And I hope that's what you're doing. Hoping you're surviving your quarantine, staying safe, doing all that good stuff. If you guys need help, as I always say, trade with me. Trade with me every day live, right here. Somewhere on the screen will appear a link. Each and every one of you are welcome. Before I get started, though, with today's mutterings, I had to break out the French press. Now, one of the first or second one of these done, I talk about my coffee obsession. So you can see you've got like an issue here. I've got no furniture. You go this way. No furniture in the office. Like a chair and a lazy boy. But I now have two coffee machines and I've got a French press. I had a French press. This, guys, if you've never had this is the best way to make coffee. It like extracts all of the juices and elements, and that black and brown oil, that creamy oil comes on at the top of it. And I know for some it's disgusting, but that crud that gets on the sides there, oh, I love that. That's like, oh, I love it. Man, get that goodness in me. Okay, I've taken it too far. Love French press. If you love coffee, that's the way to do it. Also got a mess. If you ever watch my Born a Goon motorcycle channel, I took a big crash on my bike the other day. And of course, with coronavirus, I can't get any parts. So I've got this thing in pieces here, working on it. So I want you to ask yourself this question. Who has an office where they can trade stocks during the day, play guitar in their spare time, work on a motorcycle, because who's got a bike in their office? Work on a motorcycle, and then just shoot over here. Maybe have some whiskey. Maybe hit the fridge. Have yourself a sandwich or something. Make a burrito. I don't know. Have some coffee. Life is good. So, I'm going to take you over here, guys. We're going to talk about some stocks. Like I said, it's been the first 2 days of this week. Let me get you off of this thing here. Sorry about the handshaking and the... All right, let me get you set up and go to the webcam. I have to kind of split them up because when you try to render these things, they take a long time. That's another topic. Anyway, where was I? Oh, when I mentioned at the beginning of the week, was struggling a little bit, not losing any real money, but just kind of like not getting anywhere with this stuff. It was a mess out there. I mean, an absolute mess. And we're still seeing a mess, but I did some things. And what I want to talk to you guys today about is breakouts. This is the topic today, is breakouts, because this is one of the most loosely used terms in trading, because everybody thinks that if something's going through high of day, it's a breakout. And that's not true, because breakouts are different. In fact, most breakouts do fail, but they won't if you use one little trick. It's not a trick. It's actually just obvious. And that's multi-time frame breakouts. How do you get multi-time frame breakouts, and how do you take advantage of them? We're going to talk about that today. So we were looking at 3 trades this morning. If you follow me on Twitter, which I hope you do, I talked about Facebook last night. I talked about NVIDIA last night, and I talked about ZM, okay? Now, this is what I want to draw your attention to, you guys out there that are wondering about breakouts, because this is something I did in my trading career early on, and I really want to hammer this point home to people that are struggling, and it's that every trade's different. You know, every trade is different. Just because something worked one time does not mean it's going to work another time, and breakouts are just like that. You know, like I said, it's a loosely used term, and everybody thinks something that's going through high a day is a breakout, and that's not the case. Breakouts are different. What I like to do when I'm doing is I'm looking for multi-time frames. And that multi-time frame means I want you to take out the highs of the day, but in conjunction with that, I want you to take out highs from another time frame. So if you're just, this is not a support resistance video. I've done one of those before. several of those, but the further that you go back, or the more important the support you're looking at, the more important the resistance you're looking at, the more important that number is, and the more likely you are to see activity. So when you're wondering why do these things just go vertical sometimes, there's your answer. So here's what I'm talking about to try to clean this up for you. We'll take a look at this ZM, and this is what the chart looked like yesterday. When we were talking about that this morning in the pre-market wrap-up, and when we talked about it in the market mutterings yesterday, this is what I was looking at here. So you've got a bunch of resistance right here. So I'm just going to run you through this. Facebook did the same thing today, NVIDIA as well. You've got a few highs here. So you've got 416 highs. Remember, you don't have to be to the penny here. You don't have to do that. Just general area. So you have these 154.5, say 155s. 154.5, 155s. You had a test of that on the 16th, a test of that on the 17th, unable to do it. On the 20th, you had a test of that, and then yesterday you had a test of that. So you've gone the last 4 trading sessions with a test of that 155, right? That 155, you've had that test. So the theory here is that you spent 4 days, you can maybe even say 5, just trying to get through it and can't do it. So that's pretty significant resistance, at least for the short term. Not long term, but for the short term, that's pretty good resistance. So anytime you get a move above that, you should see an aggressive, high volume move and press on this. Now, when you guys are out there learning technical analysis, one of the things that traders have a problem with is they don't let gains run. They don't look at these values and look at these gains and look at the charts for exits. So if you break this, the nearest piece of resistance that you have is from the 30th of March, right up here at these 162s. So the trade is laid out for you guys right here. Meaning that if you clear 155, and you're a market technician, you're somebody that lives, breathes, and dies by technical analysis, and that is what you do. You study charts, you read charts, you pray about charts, you love charts, you sleep with charts. If that's the kind of person you are, then there should be no reason that this stock doesn't trade to 162, correct? That's where it should go, because remember, we always say normally they trade from one spot to the next spot. That's where it should go. So if you buy it at 155, you're doing so under the premise that you're going to get 162. Now, it's important to pay attention to that, because if it's not going to go straight up in most cases. It's not how it's going to work in most cases. It's not going to just go parabolic and do that. It's going to dance around and shake people out. That's why you got to focus on the big picture. So when we're looking at the intraday, the setup that we were looking at today was, hey, if we can cross, so it opens up there right at, this is what you're seeing in the pre-market. It's just dancing around that 155 at pre-market, just right there ready to go. So we were saying, look, if it can just pull slightly and then just jam right through that 155, we're in, we're taking it, we're on it. And that's exactly what happened. Right on through there. Look at this. And then when it does, it just explodes. And look where it goes. Look where it goes, man. This is not even a science. You know, I got these hucksters out there selling you the high-priced DVDs and stuff, talking about these secret strategies and crap. I mean, come the hell on. Just kidding. It's right there for you, right? It's right there for you. So it goes right into that 160, 162s, right? So no secret that it pulls back there in resistance. Now later on it rallies back up there, so you get a pretty good move there. So if you're able to get in there, you had some moving to trail. I mean, Facebook's the same way. You know, you can't say that you're going to sell at the top every time, but Facebook the same way, taking out the previous day high 184, doing that right here early on. Same kind of setup, tagging on that 184 early, the resistance type. And then same thing, pushing up really hardcore first thing in the morning. So it just goes straight vertical first thing in the morning. And that's, you know, sometimes you get a Facebook where that's all you got. That's that one vert was all you're able to get. And then sometimes you get a ZM that grinds out all day. So to make this easier for you guys, it's all about levels. I talked about that so many times in all of these videos. These levels mean something. They are important. They do matter. Stocks don't trade randomly in most cases. The reason we use technical analysis is because we're trying to figure out who's where and what's going on at one time and what these prices mean. And when you take out daily chart highs in combination with intraday highs, you have yourself a certifiable breakout. Not this garbage, oh, I'm just breaking out for the hell of it. Those are going to be less. They can work at times, but they're going to be less reliable than these other ones. So there's your little bit lesson in breakout. These were the trades we took. This, FB, and I ended up wiggling back to futures. I've been trading mainly the SPY because futures because of the volatility. You know, I didn't want to sit here and trade 5-6 contracts, but got a couple of really good futures trades today, which was nice. I love trading futures and got a nice little ramp up here late. But that was a little different setup than a breakout. It was just sort of a momentum push on there. Good day, a good day. So that's 2 back-to-back good days after just kind of doing this. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is good. Looking to finish off this week nice and strong. So let's kind of think about it, because I tell you what, this market is having some serious issues this week. I'm not going to sit here and say I've got a handle on every single thing that's happening at every single piece of time. It's crazy, just crazy movement. I'm looking at this thing all the way up today, all the way back down. It's just all over the place. So we start out the week with this oil issue, just smoking out the market. Then it's like, okay, we're not really worried about oil anymore. All is good. We go through this big rally yesterday, and it looks like today we're going to continue with that. And then you get this, I think it was Gilead, if I'm pronouncing it right, G-I-L-D. They did this, I guess they come out and their coronavirus vaccine or whatever failed a trial, and it just tanks, and it sends the market spiraling down. Now, in my opinion, I was thinking, hey, the market didn't rally. Like we rallied off the bottoms here in the SPY, right? We didn't rally off of the bottom here and continue to make this rally because we were all hoping we were going to be saved by Gilead Pharmaceuticals, or whatever the name of it is. Guild. I'm going to call it Guild because I love to pronounce tickers. We're not going to be saved by these people. So what's the big deal if they don't have the vaccine? That's not something to crater the market, but that's what the market wanted to do. It would have been nice, obviously, but that's what the market wanted to do. Now, the reason we use other time frames as traders, why I was talking about the breakouts, but the reason you use other time frames is sometimes to block out the noise. Because if you're looking at the intraday 5-minute chart, this thing's just schizophrenic. It's absolutely out of control. It's hard for anybody to get a handle on what's happening here. There is no setups. There is no basing. There is no sideways actions. It's either straight up, straight down, and just in your face. That's all it is from start to finish. But when you come over and you look at the daily chart, we're still inside. Look, I've got it 283 to the upside, 271 to the downside. We're still in this tight range here, holding the consolidation. And like I've been saying before, unless we start trading down towards the high 260s or the mid 260s, my stance is still short-term bullish. We're going to be more often likely to buy than we are to sell at this point, because dips are going to get bought. Things are going to work out smoothly in these areas in most cases. You get under here, then, well, we might start seeing a little more aggressive selling. So let's kind of take a look at tomorrow and think about a couple of stocks that we want to look at, and some of the things that we want to kind of play around with. And I keep going back to DOCU, don't I? This stock has done so good this month for us. And I'm looking at the same thing as what I was talking to you about ZM. Now this is a little high already on the daily chart, but this is the same thing I'm talking about. You got this 105.15 up here that's the high. It broke out of this shorter term range today. Let me open this up for you, show what I'm looking at. It broke out of this range today. This 103.25. But wasn't able to hold on to that. If it would have closed up there, I'd feel better about this thing moving into the 110s. But you never know what's going to happen. Watch that number again. I think if you see one more push that goes above this 103.25, this thing's going to go straight there. Now I keep talking about the same stocks over and over again. But man, oh man, oh man. This thing is just continues to be impressive and continue to do some business. Same thing with Facebook. I am not so, this daily chart's a little bit stretched from where it was a couple of days ago. But throughout this action, I got a bunch of chicken scratch here. I'm sorry. I was just kind of monitoring some levels earlier, but it's still running around 185 today. So even while the market was hit, it was able to rebound. I like this one going forward. I know they got some earnings coming up here on the 29th, so there's a few days to make this trade. This is not a breakout trade, so kind of what I wanted to clarify well is too that I don't think I did. When I'm trading a breakout, I'm looking for stuff like ZM. That's what I'm looking for. You know, Facebook. That's what I'm looking for. Multi-time frame breakouts where I'm taking out resistance on a daily and intraday at the same time. That's what I'm interested in. Anything else, I'm dip buying. That's it. I just dip buy. So I take, on that side, I take things like Facebook, which broke out today, Nvidia, which has been strong, ROKU, which has been strong, ZM, which has been strong. I try to stick with those strong stocks, and if by chance they flush, they pull back, they gap lower, as long as it's not a hit piece, failed earnings or something like that, I try to pick them up on a pullback. So ROKU today was a good one. I didn't get it, but it was the same thing. We talk about the check mark pattern like it was yesterday. I even drew it yesterday. Here it is. You know, extended check mark yesterday, down, day before, down and up. Here it is, down and up today, down and up. You seeing that? Now, this is also something you guys want to pay attention to as well, is people look at chart patterns and they forget about the word pattern. It's a pattern. It's not just a chart pattern, but it's a behavioral system that stocks work. Here's a good example of that. What are you seeing every day in ROKU? What are you seeing? You're seeing flush, bounce, flush, bounce, flush. That's 3 straight days. Starts out, dumps, ends up higher, dumps, ends up higher, dumps, ends up higher. That's all you need. You play in that rhythm over and over and over again in that pattern, you're making money. And that's the stuff I'm looking at for on ROKU, you know, until the daily chart changes. But for the rest of them, that's what I look for. If you flush into support, you base like this, I look for those bounces. So as we're going forward, really it's a day-by-day thing here. Market's still, I'm still leaning to the bullish side here. You know, we'll see how things open up tomorrow. That could change. We have some other, like Beyond. I haven't talked about Beyond. It's stretched a little bit, but maybe there's some momentum there. I still want to stick with my favorites. I still want to stick with ROKU. I still want to stick with things like Okta, Nvidia. You know, I want to buy these on pullbacks. Apple. And then maybe now starting to put in Facebook. More Facebook. Start looking at that thing on more solid dips. And definitely ZM. I mean, you got to take a look at those if you get a chance. So anyway, guys, if you need help, make sure you reach out to us. There's a lot of different things to look at, and every single day it changes. When you're in this type of market volatility, you have a lot of things on your mind, and then one day they're hot, the next day they're not. One day they're hot. Like Starbucks was an example of what I was talking about yesterday. Starbucks couldn't keep people away from the damn thing yesterday. Look at it. Just couldn't stop them. Today, you couldn't keep them out of it. It was like complete reversal. You know, it melted up and then melted down. Just crazy action. As always, if you need my help, you got any comments or suggestions, you got things you want me to talk about in these mutterings, happy hours, whatever, shoot me an email, support@lincolnlist.com. Until tomorrow, guys, trade them well. Talk to you then.